Hello folks, and welcome to another Bitcoin market analysis. Today's Saturday full market analysis by Inspocrypto. We will talk about what's happening at the moment. We see that as a little bit expected, even we didn't fall to 19k, we went down to 19,300 and it started to lift up. However, we will see if we can figure out what could happen this weekend. We know weekends it's very difficult just because low volume, Wall Street session is closed, and so on and so forth. So we will see what's going to happen next. We will at least try to detect anything. At the moment, it looks like they want to push even more. But at the same time, we know we have a CME Friday close at 19,800. Doesn't mean we can't go up, just to decline, to fall this night or even tomorrow. We know that. So we need to be very, very, first of all, we need patience, but also careful. We need to trade very carefully because they can go up, then decline, and so on and so forth, just to liquidate longs, shorts, make little shakeouts, everything they want. Even they are, as you see, even these orders here, they are absorbing them. At the same time, they are just reinforcing these orders with more funds or more bitcoins to sell. That's Bitcoin, BTC, USDT spot. So we will see how far they want to go here. Once again, I'm not trading the weekend. Since a while, I'm not trading weekends because for me, it doesn't really make any sense to trade weekends. It's a waste of time. It's better just, to enjoy the weekend instead. But I know that many of you are not, and so let us begin what's happening here. We will start with the wealth ratio 30 days moving average. Now, as you know, 30 days moving average is now declining very hard. It declined from 51 to right now 49, just because even here the wealth ratio declined. So it makes sense, indicating that weights are sending less bitcoins to spot exchanges. We will see how far they want to go, because last time, we went from almost 44 directly to 50, and afterwards we dumped from 31 directly to 17, and we will see. However, next week is going to be very interesting because we know that we will have FOMC meeting for the Fed. We know that that could be very, very volatile. Wednesday is going to be the main day. So first of all, crude oil inventories, FOMC economic projections, FOMC statements, Fed interest rate decisions, and FOMC press conference. Everything almost, at least excluding crude oil inventories, all Fed events will happen within 30 minutes. So at least they will start within 30 minutes. Thursday, initial jobless claims, and Friday, Fed Chair Powell speaks. Also could bring some activity to the markets, just, because of any kind of expectations and so on and so forth. So we will see what's going to happen here. However, let us go forward and check what the wealth ratio 1 hour time frame is doing. At least now, CryptoQuant is here explaining why we can't see any stablecoin movements anymore. It's just because, as you see here, they are mentioning that they have problems with their database because of the ETH merge. So I really hope they will fix that very quick, because, you know, we have a lack of data here that is very important for us. As I'm not using any other, at the moment at least, blockchain data provider. Gdata is on at least on the table for me, but CoinGlass not, as mentioned many times before. So we will see. However, what I'm seeing here is not that bearish. I mean, you remember we had this dump. I have said such a dump means short term the price should go up. That's what's doing. Even the weights ratio, it's lifting up again, indicating, of course, distributing in upper levels. If we go forward and check here what the weights ratio 30 hours moving average did, it lifted up, we dump, it started to decline very hard. Even here we lifted up very close to this candle week here, as we can see. So it seems someone wanted just to sell a little bit more, and afterwards we started to decline. We are maintaining a level below 86, so it's okay. It's just really okay. Doesn't mean that we are going to go directly to 22,500 over the weekend. I would expect at least, even if we go up, hitting, for example, 20,500, that could be possible over the weekend, or even 20,700 to dump afterwards, just to meet again the CME close of Friday. But we also know in the past they did some big moves over the weekend and they just let the gap. Also possible just to meet this gap afterwards a week later or whatever, because they are expecting a price action. So it would and it could be possible that they want to go up, because they maybe know a little bit, so a front running operation, that next week could be bearish and we will dump anyway. So then, of course, close this remaining gap. Could be possible. So let us see what's going to happen with flow activity and the remaining chapters. So what we see here is the flow activity and the daily resolution, so indicating us what's happening here. You remember I have said, well, that inflow activity is rising, and we did here the biggest flow activity since a while. So the last time we did that was almost here. That was mid of August, when we dumped from 25 directly to 20,600. And well, something, I mean, we had a fake rally here, and also here they were accumulating and they started to dump mid of September, so 4 weeks later, and we dumped from 22,800 to finally, it seems, 19k. Not sure if we are done, because usually, as you can see, the pattern is accumulation, and afterwards it should go down, and it maintains relatively high. So even, for example, yesterday we had an inflow of 12,600, the day before 15,000, 16,700, and so on and so forth, while the price is lifting up but not indicating any huge move to the upside. So we will see what's going to happen here. I think they are maybe preparing for the next week. As you see here, we still have the lack of data related to stablecoins. However, it's weakened. The maximum volume indicating here in the inflows to the spot was today almost 460 bitcoins. So that's absolutely nothing. The biggest one we had, even for example yesterday, it wasn't big at all, 1,500 bitcoins in 1 hour. Sounds a lot, it isn't. So we will see. It seems they started again, once again, just to accumulate on centralized exchanges, something we need to track, of course. We will see what's going to happen next. So what is happening to the futures? Well, also here we can see that after the dump and the funding rate, of course, reacted to it, it declined. It's lifting up, even it declined once again, but it looks much more that it want to go up again, but the open interest, the aggregated one, maintains flat. Leverage ratio is lifting up a little bit, but open interest, it's not recovering anymore. So it could be something like a capitulation by future traders. If that's going to happen, that would be, in my opinion, worst case scenario for all exchanges. Absolutely. So also here we will see. But stablecoin, let me see, because that looks almost, no, it's also not really accurate. That was from yesterday. Also here we have a lack of information, but why? It doesn't make sense because the funding rate is not related to the stablecoins. Ah, no, still, I don't know why. We have a lack of information here. It's indicating me yesterday. Oh, we should be here. Okay, I don't know what CryptoQuant is doing at the moment, but once again, I don't know why they can't show the funding rate. I hope we can see that on the different charts. Otherwise, it's really big pain. Even here, Bitcoin's not indicating. I don't know. I mean, this year doesn't have anything to do with Bitcoins to derivative exchanges, in my opinion. So I really can't say what happened. I will refresh the site once again. No, it's the last, that was, yeah, 2 days ago. That's the last data we received, it seems. Okay, then let us go forward. Also here, no. Here, for example, it doesn't make any sense. Okay, we have the funding rate here. So once again, we can see here the leverage ratio is lifting up, open interest recovering, but as you see, it takes a lot of time while the funding rate is declining once again. So if the funding rate is declining and future traders are just demanding more shorts, it's obvious that they want to push up to liquidate them like they did just before. So we need to see what's going to happen here, but they, at the moment, they are not really liquidating anything. The last big liquidation was, for example, just tonight when the price went up, hitting, for example, here between 19.7 and 20,000. So how does that look on Binance? Well, nothing different here. Also here, open interest slowly recovering, slowly lifting up, leverage ratio even faster, and the funding rate lifted up, declined. It seems it wants to lift up once again, so also indicating that they are demanding at least more longs, because many people, I mean, I read that herds are just expecting more lows, more lows, more lows, and that's why we will go up, it seems, or the bottom is in. That's a comment, a tweet, what I have just read few minutes ago. Well, I mean, the herd is not expecting more lows. I would say that the whole crypto community is very divided in bulls and bears. Just to say everyone is now, or the mass is expecting more lows, and that's not going to happen, it's wrong in my opinion. Otherwise, we wouldn't have a big difference between longs and shorts. As we know, the spot activity is really low. So a lot of capital just shifted to futures. And also retailers are using futures. And the big capital is on the long side. So even the funding rate lifting up again, demanding more longs. How can people then say everybody is expecting more, more lows? I mean, in my opinion, the whole crypto community is very divided, and I wouldn't say that all are expecting more lows, or I don't know, everybody is expecting a new bull run, for example, or even 30K. But, at the moment it looks like many think that's the bottom now, the local bottom will go up directly. I mean, they are very confirming with the price action right now. However, I would be very careful because the whole market is mainly driven by Wall Street, and Wall Street doesn't look very strong at the moment. The last CPI, the last data wasn't really bullish, in my opinion, even not really bearish, but maybe they need a very bullish signal just to push up very hard again, and that's what they are missing at the moment. So let us go forward. And BitMEX, once again, I mean, we have here 70% in longs while only 30% are shorts. So indicating they are right now again collecting late longs. I don't think that we are just going up and maintain. In my opinion, they will shake them out before, so go down again. It would match very well to the CME close of Friday, just to go back to 19.8. And then, of course, we will see what's going to happen Monday, Tuesday, and so on. So that's it. Let us go forward. So we still have the same constellation like yesterday. We have here a gamma wall, a big one, and a concentration right now here on the call side. So if we check, we still have here, it's 20K at the moment. So indicating 20K should be something like resistance. The next support area would be 19K, so not even 19.5 anymore. That's something that's surprising me. And on the call side, we have 21 and 22K. So it could be a big problem for bulls to cross just the 20K. And I can imagine that we go even more down first. Also related to GAGs, we are now positive again, indicating it's neutral, it's center. So we can go up, we can go down. It's not a big issue, but while we are going up, it gives us more space to the downside. We will see. But at the moment, it was negative, minus 22,000, and the price started to lift up. Now it's at 5,000. So we need to see if the price goes up more. The GAGs will rise once again. And at certain time, at certain moment, when the GAGs is too high, it will push the price down again. Or at least that's one indicator. So let us check what's happening to the strategies. As expected, nothing big here. We have two big trades on strategies. It seems custom strategy and bear put spread. We will check both and see what's happening there. And yeah. So directly to the custom strategy. It's not a multi-leg. At least I can't see that here. So if we check, we will check those two trades here. We have, for example, for September 23rd, that would be next Friday expiry. and the main expiry of September, if I'm right. No, it's the last day of the month. However, we have here puts 20k and call 23k. They sold the puts and bought calls. So here it seems that someone is expecting to see a price between 20k and 23k. And here as well. And it's not huge, but because of the premium volume, but it's at least the biggest strategy today. I mean, usually Saturday, it's not that big in volume, but so looks very interesting. And the last one is bear put spread. Has less notional volume and even less premium volume. So if the custom strategy had a collected premium volume of 250k, this one has just 150k, but it's fine. I mean, we have here at least short-term strategies, and that's really interesting because they are expecting for the last, or for the September expiry, that's the last day of September 13th. If we check the bear put spread, what is the bear put spread? We know that. I mean, bear put spread, it's not the first time that we detected this strategy, but for those who are maybe new, the bear put spread is a strategy where the trader is expecting a gradual decline in price. So they are not expecting any sharp price move. It's much more softly, but still just declining more and more. And to realize the maximum profit related to this strategy, the Bitcoin price has to be at or below of the strike price of the lower strike. So if we check that, it means below 17k, below 17k. So that's usually not bullish at all, but as mentioned, even the notional is almost 8 millions. It's not big at all. It's at least, I wouldn't say that's something that should or could be accurate. However, that's it related to option trading. So we go directly to the next chapter. So we see FTX have started to lift up. So after they accumulated, it seems here a little bit, they started to distribute again. Now they are accumulating once again. So that's what's happening, but almost no activity. So the volume delta is not really moving after they really distributed very well. The question is what's going to happen next, because it's on the level they had when we were at 18.7. So they bought and afterwards they sold more. The question is what's going to happen next. So if we go here to Binance, we see that Binance still here in a negative trend, a bearish trend. However, we will see if that's going to break it, if they want to buy even more. At the moment, they are, it seems, buying more, but also here not a big deal. The only ones is Bitfinex doing once again very strange things. While someone started to buy, then they sold again back, and then they bought again. So really, I mean, we are talking here, and let me see, since this morning until in almost 8 hours, look what they did. I mean, reduced their CBD by 1,500 Bitcoins, and then they lifted up. So they bought more than sold, and they did a CBD, a positive CBD of almost 1,800 Bitcoins. That's extremely big for Bitfinex. The question is always why they did that and who is selling, because they were distributing all the time, And they, once again, they distributed almost to the level just before. So if we check that here and we check that here, it seems that was its bottom or something, and now they are lifting up again. At least it's also an indication that these guys are pushing the price up. So, and then Coinbase. Well, I mean, we don't need to talk about Coinbase. I have also explained, I think, very clear while the CBD of Coinbase is always lifting up. Even if the CBD, the volume delta, is not big, but they have more buyers than sellers. That's it. And let us take a look what the entities are doing here. Let us start with retailers. They are declining their balances a little bit. These guys lifting up. These guys declining but maintaining a level. So everything below 100 Bitcoins still more on the accumulation side than distribution. These guys in a positive trend, even if it's absolutely not big. I mean, 384, so almost 40,000 Bitcoins more on its balances since mid of June. That's peanuts. So entities, well, I mean, after they declined, they lifted up. Once again, I have mentioned it's too early to say something, because they reached a new low level of 4,900,000, and afterwards they lifted up, rising its balances by 20,000, and now back to 4,910,000. So declined since September 14th, just about 10,000 Bitcoins. We need to see what's going to happen next. It looks like they purchased maybe also the dip, and it's selling step by step while the price is lifting up. We need to see. It's just too early, but that's how it looks like. And entities mainly related to exchanges also showing here that their balances are lifting up, usually indicating that their BTC reserves are lifting up, are rising, and that could be an indicator that whales are still sending Bitcoins and accumulating Bitcoins on spot exchanges, something I have mentioned before. So it would match. Miners declining once again, even maintained, higher than the average with yesterday 1,800 Bitcoins outflows, but nothing big. Also here nothing big. Unfortunately, also here still a very flat stablecoin. Also here just a lack of data by CryptoQuant. However, Bitcoin reserves related to derivative exchanges lifting up even more. Here it lifted up very hard and declined afterwards, so they sent to derivative exchanges and took profit afterwards. And we can see here that it seems all these accumulated Bitcoins on centralized exchanges, at least part of them, they disappeared. So it seems that they withdrew that just after they sold, for example. Do we have another thing? OTC activity lifting up, but mainly also here, once again, Coinbase, it seems the main driver when it comes to push up the price. Let us just bring also the other exchanges alive. And also interesting here, big fund flow. So the fund flow ratio is based on Bitcoins. So we see here bigger Bitcoins movements while the price lifted up. So I would say they are buying even Bitfinex here, but on Bitfinex it looks like a little bit more, it was related to the decline, but not sure. So yeah, it's usual on weekend, no big activity happening. So let us go forward. So we have Coinbase. Coinbase just almost removed the wall at 23K. They have some walls at 22K and so on and so forth, but nothing big. Reduced volume also here at 18.5. And even people were laughing at me when I said they are shifting order volume, walls volume to lower ranges, and they said, yeah, but look, that's no volume, ha ha ha, whatever. They don't understand what these guys do. These orders are not static. Means they reinforce when the price comes to very close to them, they start to reinforce these walls. That's what they always are doing. Always. So when you see, for example, like on Coinbase, we had a lot of different walls here. Okay, they stopped here while the price went up. They didn't locate these walls here. Instead, they started to shift these walls to the downside. So my question is, why? Why to shift liquidity to the downside? Does that make sense? I would say only if you are expecting a lower range, otherwise you wouldn't. Or reinforce, for example, this wall here at 15K with another wall. Could it be spoofing? Yes. Is that maybe part of a trap? Maybe. I mean, what we are doing here is trying to figure out something and to check if something is changing. Because any kind of change could have a hidden information that we are using to figure out what whales are doing. If you think it's appropriate to laugh about such information, well, do it. But then you don't my information here. And well, however, I blocked this guy because it was just stupid. I love to have an exchange of information. If you have some facts, if you have some ideas, it's okay. But to make jokes about tweets without to bring any input, that's just crap in my opinion. However, you can see here very clear they stopped with this liquidity here and instead they shifted to the downside. And that's something it's wondering me why exchanges are doing that when they are not expecting another leg to the downside. There a bit. Nothing big, waiting at 20,800, could be 20,800. I don't think we are going directly to 20,800 over the weekend, but could be just to go there, 20,800, and then go down just to meet the Friday CME close. Would be possible. Bitstamp. Well, Bitstamp started here to accumulate sell orders between 22K and 23K, while also here you can see they started from September 9th until today to bring a lot of liquidity here waiting. For what if they are not expecting any big sharp price move to the downside? Because that means just to trigger all these orders we need to go at least to 15K and even lower, as you see. So the question is, why? Are they spoofing to the both side, or I don't know. So everything is possible. That's what I said. I wouldn't go short without the confirmation. And the confirmation means a retest. If I'm not seeing the retest, I'm not going to short. It's really easy. So also here, that's Binance. You can see a lot of liquidity here. They removed some volume at 25k, also some volume here, but nothing big at the moment. They are pushing the price more, hitting 22,300. The next wall would be at 22,500, and the next big one at 21,500. If we check that here, you know, they just remove this wall here, and instead we received here more, smaller volume, smaller orders, buy orders. So if we check that, we can see that the only one is that here that's completely new at 8,000, 7,800 or whatever, but it's absolutely not big. So at the moment, the whole liquidity is much more concentrated here until 17.5. Bitfinex spot. So we see the next bigger wall would be at 18k. Here very active, doing whatever they are doing. You see also here we had, and that red candle, a positive volume delta of almost 900 bitcoins. That's a lot. That's really a lot. Even here, another 900 bitcoins. That's crazy. So someone bought, or at least the volume data is showing here, they purchased 1,260 bitcoins in 1 hour, and they sold 366 bitcoins. And that's why we can see that kind of CBD, because of this volume delta. Even here, almost 400 bitcoins positive volume delta. So that's really crazy. It's on Bitfinex, it seems it's really in few hands. Also here some liquidity waiting below 18k. Still here liquidity at 30s and so on and so forth, but the whole concentration, as you can see, it's much more to the upside, less to the downside, and the biggest wall to the downside, it's 16k. FTX perp. Let us see what's happening here. Wow. FTX perp just waiting here, so at 20,300 and 20,500 could be an indicator that that's it. So yeah, we can go a little bit more up, but that's it. So all, just to trigger all these shorts, could be part of it. And that's it. OKEX spot usually not happening a lot. They sold here a lot. Yeah. And right now more buying, but you see the CBD also declining here. Kraken spot, the opposite, instead buying. Also here you can see they are blocking the way up until 20,300. Even there are some walls. They placed a new wall at 18k. BitMEX, nothing at the moment. Also here placing new walls, but they removed in lower area below 11,000, so 11,600. We have here 14,000 and so on and so forth. They removed the wall at 23.7, and the next bigger would be at 28, almost 28. We see here also a bigger collection of sell orders, more than to the downside. So Binance futures limiting the way up at 22,800. They removed a lot of short orders here. Instead, like FTX, also here waiting until 20,500 with short orders. Here some long orders waiting at 19.8 and 19.8. removed the wall at 18.8, and that's it. If we check here, still locking liquidity between 15,000 and 13,000. Even here they reinforced 8,000. That's crazy. Bitfinex derivatives limiting the way up at 21,600 and to the downside at 19k and even at 18.4, but the biggest one still here at 16k. Also the question, why should someone just lock its liquidity there if they are not expecting such a dump? You know, I don't know. Look that's crazy. Let us take a look how old this one is. Wow, that's really old. Since mid-April, it seems. So they were locking here liquidity, expecting, well, the price could go even more to the downside. Now also here at 10k, just locking liquidity. I don't know why. However, they triggered the buy orders at 18.5 last time, and we need to see if they are done or just wanted to trigger more buy orders to sell then in upper levels. That's something we need to wait and to see. Kraken futures, nothing. OKEX futures, nothing. And FTX spot, we take a look. FTX spot here also not indicating. We have some volume, new volume between 18.8 and 18.5. Also here they did exactly the same like on Binance between 12.5 and 10,500. Liquidity waiting there. They shifted from here as tweeted to the downside, and this particular person was saying like, hey, look, 187 bitcoins, 142 bitcoins, because it seems they don't know why or what is the functionality of these walls. It's not about just to wait there with 2,000 bitcoins like they did, for example, last year. In summer they did that. They started to place big, really high volume walls. That's not happening anymore. Since a while it's not happening. Instead, they place some walls, and when the price starts to decline hitting these walls, they start to reinforce with volume, and they start to buy as much as they can. Afterwards we lift up, they start to distribute, and afterwards we go down again. So, you know, if you laugh, at least I hope you know what my tweets are explaining you. Yeah, also here, I mean, that's the crazy thing, is how flat the volume on FTX looks like. The last one that was really high was here. They did 13,000 bitcoins general, so total volume in 1 hour. And after that, the biggest one was here, 3,500 bitcoins. That's nothing. That's really nothing. That's, look, I mean, on FTX, the volume declined a lot. Really a lot. And I don't know why, to be honest. So that's why the CBD is not doing anything. They were selling here much more. I mean, like for example here, they purchased 600 bitcoins, they sold 200 bitcoins, so volume delta 200 bitcoins, and that's why it's selling. So here at the moment, I mean, that's crazy. Such a big exchange having here, for example, a total volume in 1 hour 200 bitcoins. 76 Bitcoins purchased, 130 Bitcoins sold, volume delta minus 50. That's nothing. That's really nothing. Even here, 280 Bitcoins in 1 hour. I don't know. That's really... And here, 350, well, it was at least more. That's really crazy. Okay, we are done here. So once again, we are in this red area. They tried once, they failed, now they break it. Now the question is if they are break here this one, in my opinion, I doubt. Even then, we can go to 20,500 again, and afterwards we should decline once again to, in my opinion, CME Friday close. We need to see, of course, what they are doing, but it looks like. So, yeah, it doesn't look very strong, the whole thing, to be honest. So it wouldn't surprise me if we start to decline tonight once again and then maintain until Monday. So we will see. Nothing big happened here since yesterday. So if you check yesterday's my personal conclusion, I think we are still on track. I've mentioned I were expecting to go down. That was actually my expectations yesterday, where I said, you know, we are here and the price went up, down, up, and at certain moment it should go up, and that's what it did. So even it didn't went to 19,000 because I was expecting here a little bit even lower, so to here and then go up. It didn't, it just went here and went up. So we need to see what's going to happen next. As mentioned, for me, everything what they are doing at the moment, it's pure late futures shakeout and high leverage. Even the leverage declined a lot, but it seems still people are leveraging even more. They will wreck them. That's what they want to do. The whole thing doesn't look like we will fly this weekend. And I wouldn't expect any big move this weekend at all. So go up, collect late longs, and tonight just dump back to 19,800, and that's it. And then from Monday on, they will, they will start to follow SPY, SPX once again. And next week is going to be very interesting for the whole market, so we will see. That's it. So in 2 hours, I will start the stream. I will start a little bit later today, and I need really to close my stream session after 30 minutes because I have, we want just to go out a little bit, so we need, or I need to close the stream after 30 minutes. I think I will start at 9:15 or 9:30 today, Central European time. And after you check the whole market analysis, if you have any question, you can place the question like last week on YouTube or Discord, and I will reply then. So big love. See you later. Bye bye.